Get outside and get in nature today. Let's get it, fam. I got a great story, a great video for y'all today. If you like this video, if you're loving the content, give this vid a like. This video is going to really touch a whole lot of people. And subscribe to the channel if you're loving the content, man. We're trying to build this family big. But check it. In this video, I'm going to go over my whole spiritual journey and how it has been for me. I've already made a video talking about the beginning of my spiritual journey, like what happened before I awakened. But this video, I'm gonna go over and break down like how my whole spiritual journey has been from the start of it to when I had my spiritual awakening until now. So let's get into it. All right, I do want to start like back in time a little bit, just to let y'all know like where my mindset was when I was coming up in life, because your whole life is a spiritual journey. We are just remembered that when we have our spiritual awakening. So I consider like my whole life being a spiritual journey. And I'm gonna let y'all know some important parts, like when it hit me or not. So I guess I like to start the story in high school, when I started realizing like who I truly was as a person and all of that, and I started stepping back and looking at how corrupt society was and all of that. I had to put on this jacket because it was cold as shit outside. But hey, I remember like my freshman year of high school, I would like hear like everybody saying like these are the most important 4 years of your life. You have to take this shit serious. And I was like, from my point of view, I was like, these are my last 4 years to have fun and turn up, right? And I always put that on myself. So like I never wanted to be that person to take the regular American route, like graduate high school, go to college for 4 years, go work a job for 20 years of your life, then retire when you're old. I made sure that I was not taking that route in life. So I already had like that separation mindset from everybody else. And I remember when I graduated from high school, all my friends, it was like, yeah, we're going to this college, we're going to this college. And I remember like I woke up one day, I was planning on going to college actually. I was going to major in computer engineering because I was really good with computers, and I already had some like college credits in engineering because I took engineering classes at my high school. I was really smart with math, like numbers. I had no problem with that, like real educated dude. I'm not gonna lie, but that's not the point. I like had to step back and had like a self-reflection day. Like it was really my higher self talking to me, and it told me that college is not for you. Don't take this route. And it hit me so clear, and I was like no lie, like college is not for me. Like I cannot take that route because I already felt like I was gonna like drop out in some sense. So my first year out of high school, I was still trying to find myself in life. And I found YouTube, found my passion with YouTube. I was like, you know what, bro, I'm gonna just go with my passion, what I always wanted to do, become a big YouTube star. Cause that's been since freshman year. Thought about going crazy on YouTube. Look how pretty the clouds are. I just have to say that, they look beautiful. So my first year out of high school, I'm making vlogs and all this stuff, and I'm having fun. I'm turning up in life, and I kind of got caught slipping in like I wouldn't really call it a bad route, because during this route, it's like something that really needed to happen in my life, because I was like really broke at the time. But I started selling drugs, started selling weed to everybody. And one of the biggest shifts in my life, I guess my spirit guides or something told me like, you're getting too deep in this, you need to slow down. But it was the beginning of 2020. This I knew 2020 was about to be one massive ass, like just crazy ass year. It was like 12 days into 2020, and I fucking got caught up with the feds. I spent the night in jail. I got locked up for weed charges and all that. And that was a very like turning point in my life. It like made me realize a whole lot of shit. Like I don't need to be taking this route. So skip all of that. Nothing really happened. I was like kind of still on the same wave. I just wasn't selling drugs anymore. Still a huge ass pothead. Weed was really controlling my life at this point. I wasn't really like smoking it because I was sad or anything. But I had very bad overthinking problems, and when I would smoke weed, like, it would slow down my mind. So it kind of like helped me with that. That was the only reason why I was hooked on it so bad. But COVID came around, and I remember I told myself when lockdowns first started in March, I said, manifested this shit. So let you know, manifestation is real. Manifested this shit on myself. I said, when this lockdown starts, I will become a better person and take a way better. Like, I was gonna grow when the lockdown was finished. That was my whole intentions when this lockdown first started, just to grow and find out who I truly was in life, right? Let me pause this video so I can think for a moment. Alright, so boom. COVID happens. At first, I thought it was very real and all of that shit. Like, I ain't gonna lie, they really play mind tricks on you, and they have you in that fear state. I wasn't really scared of it, so I was like, man, that shit not catching me slipping. But I saw how it scared everybody around me, so that kind of made me believe that it was real. But we reverse time a little bit. I've been found out how wicked the government and the whole system was at the age of like 12. So I wasn't no new person to, like, when I found out like how this world is ran and shit. Because I've been new in this shit. Like, this is shit that I have been telling people about since like 2017. How this world is ran and how corrupt it is. So one moment, like, 2020 has been a major growth year, but this is where like my like spiritual awakening journey starts, when I started to really take notice of it. So you remember I told you I got caught slipping with weed back in January of this year, and like I got locked up. Like, my trial date was coming for that. I think it was like, I forgot what the date is now, like September 9th or some shit like that. And my bro Wes, he like told me, he was like, man, you trying to go to Colorado? And I was like, man, I really need to just take a break and get away from everything, because like I was overstressing myself out about this damn just so much shit was stressing me out at this point. I was like, yes, I need to leave the fuck from home and just get the fuck and go live. So this Colorado trip was like a big eye opener to me. I went to Colorado. I freaking turned up and everything. And with this, with my shit coming up with my weed charges, I knew that this was gonna be my last time smoking. So I remember when I was in Colorado, you know how everybody goes crazy, like dispensary, weed, all that shit. I was in Colorado. I just like felt like the urge. Like, I remember it was my last time drinking. I remember drinking alcohol, getting drunk, and like I just felt it in my soul, like this is about to be my last time drinking. I was smoking weed with my friends, and I was like, this weed don't even hit the same. Like, I'm not even, honestly, wasn't even enjoying it on the trip. Honestly, I could have went without it. So I knew I was like entering a like new stage of my life. And I went hiking. We had went hiking, and like we camped up in the mountains one night. And I remember I tripped on acid this day. Tripping on acid in the mountain is like, got to. Y'all have to do that one day. That shit was beautiful. But this is the crazy part, because I was doing shadow work during this trip, and I didn't even know I was doing shadow work. Like, I was just facing my demons this whole trip and becoming one with that dark side of myself, you know. I remember, I might put the video in here. I don't know. It's too personal. But I remember I went stand on top of this tall ass mountain. I was by myself. Like, all my friends, they were setting up the camp and shit. And I was just like, fuck it. I'm just going to leave all of my demons right here. I like confessed all of my problems out, talked to myself, like had a real one-on-one convo with myself during this time, right? And I left all my past trauma and all of that on that mountain. Like, it's still there to this day. I left it there. I became one with myself at that moment, and I never looked back ever since, right? So that was a real, like, encouraging moment in my spiritual journey. But I didn't even know I was spiritual. I was a spiritual being at this time. I was just like being real with myself, you know. So, Colorado trip ends. I come back to Louisiana where I live, and like things are a little hazy. Like shit is like weird as fuck. Like I always tell people, like when they ask me how my spiritual journey went, I was like, it was like 2 weeks after Colorado, like came back to Colorado. Me and my mom, I have a great relationship with my mom, but this week for some reason we was going at it like every single day. We was just fussing, right? Like buku shit was just going like out of the natural. Like this was the worst week of my life. Nothing really crazy happened, but it's like I was just taking buku L's. Like nothing was going my way like at all this week, right? I remember texting my bro Trent. Y'all know Trent, No Ego Trent on TikTok, man. We started our spiritual journeys together, but texting my bro Trent, I remember this so clearly. And I was telling him, I was like, bro, like I'm not gonna lie to you, like it feels like I'm about to die. Like I was like seeing death right around the corner for some reason. I wasn't scared to die, like I've never been scared of death, but it felt like I was getting close to death for some reason. Like that shit was knocking at my door, right? So after I had the worst week of my life, I'm really trained with psychedelics, so don't do this. But I was really good, like mentally. I wasn't messed up, and I was one with myself because of that Colorado trip, like I just explained. So I was like, you know, like I'm about to just take these shrooms. I only took 2 G's. I didn't need a whole lot. So I'm gonna just take these 2 G's of shrooms, and like I went with the intention to get like a message or an answer out of that. Like, why the fuck is life treating me so bad? Because I'm like this good person that spreads positivity. I was never a bad person in my life. So I'm like, damn, life, like, why the fuck are you just beating my ass right now? And I took these shrooms to get the answer. And I remember, like, that night, I was just chilling in my room, laid back. And I just felt my body getting, like, lifeless. I wasn't really tripping. I wasn't having the visuals. It was just, like, a real, like, one-on-one. And it was so clear. Like, my higher self came down and he, like, took, like, full control of my body. Like, my spirit guides all surrounded me. They were just putting all these thoughts inside of my head. And I had my spiritual awakening. Shout out Spiritual Soul. He was the first person I started watching. And a lot of people might call Spiritual Soul like a fake or not at all. He's one of the realest person that I know. Because I've been knowing Soul Illuminati, like, even before he was Spiritual Soul. Like, I used to watch this dude. He used to be just a regular troller on YouTube, always getting in mess and shit. And I was watching his, like, spiritual videos. I was like, bro, this nigga, like, sounds just like me. Like, he was literally spitting facts, just like I tell people every day. So I was like, this nigga knows what the fuck he is talking about. So he resonated with me, and he put me on the spiritual game. So I was like, yes, and like my bro Trent started becoming spiritual. So he like made me like evolve into the spiritual person I am now. So what was some of the first steps that happened? Started watching Spiritual Soul. Started learning about who I was. Also around this time I had made the Break the Matrix series. I remember I made like the first video because at this time I just wanted to like expose everything. I wanted to expose the whole government and like wake people up. So I made my Break the Matrix series. All in that. My bro Trent sent me this YouTube video one random day explaining like some shit that was gonna happen December 21st. And I was like, boy, what the fuck? Like, this shit makes so much sense. Like, this shit is happening. This is why all this shit is going on. Like, this is why 2020 has been so crazy. And shout out to Foster eBay. I give him the most props on my spiritual growth because he put me on game about melanin, about your chakras, about astrology. He put me on game with all of that, about like our real heritage. I started learning about like Egypt. Then that just made me want to dive deeper into the spiritual knowledge. I learned how to meditate from my bro Trent. I thought meditation was some shit that only like people like overseas do, like, you know, gurus, like real ass people like that. Like, I didn't know anybody could just meditate. And I remember I had my first deep ass meditation experience, and I was like, yes, like it just all clicked. I remember sitting back in like my room one day, just thinking back like on my life, like before I got awakened. And I was just like, everything was clicking. It was like this happened because of that. I got caught slipping because of that. It's like ping, 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 ping. Everything in my mind just started clicking. I went over to TikTok. I posted that video about shit that was gonna happen on December 21st. My TikTok skyrocketed, right? Then I started becoming this teacher. People started seeking me for answers. I was in a 4D consciousness stage. I almost dropped a link to like me explaining the consciousness, but at this time I was spiritually awakened, but I still have my ego. You dig? The dangerous part about a spiritual awakening, when you first become it, you still have your ego. So I was trying to prove everybody wrong that didn't listen to me. I was getting in fusses with Christians and people that didn't believe in spirituality. And the one person that saved me was my bro Trent. Like, I give that boy a whole lot of thanks. He was like, bro, you're tripping. Like, that spiritual ego has got attached to you. And ever since he told me that, I like grew to like a more understanding person in everything, right? So I started working on myself, cut fast food out of my life, started getting out in nature more, learned about all this stuff, learned about knowledge that was 13,000 years ago, about the Sumerian tablets, Anunnaki, astrology, how the planet guides us and rules us, about this consciousness shift, why everything happened. I just started adding all this knowledge to myself. And I evolved to the fifth dimensional consciousness. And when I tell you that was one of the most beautiful moments in my life, like back then, I would always want to fight. I wasn't really aggressive, but I would always want to fight shit and just prove people wrong and shit. And I was like, bro, like none of that makes sense. I had found my purpose. I stopped drinking alcohol. I stopped smoking weed. I like just stopped doing everything. I achieved self-love. I wanted to be happy in my sober body, right? And after achieving self-love, I took 2 months, like 2 to 3 months away from social media and everything. I was still on TikTok dropping videos, but I wasn't talking to nobody I stayed around. It's probably besides Trent, but otherwise than that, nobody was hearing from me. Like, I was on my own like wave. Like, I created my own lane. Literally created my own reality. I left that old reality, the Matrix, and I created my own reality. Like, I became the president. I learned how to control my reality and all of that. Like, life became beautiful. I became to this new, like, top tier understanding person where all I wanted to do was spread love. And spirituality helped me find who I truly was. Like, and also, this is an important thing to remember before I even dove into spirituality, because I was a big Christian. I come from a Christian family. My mom is still a Christian, you know? I remember, like, saying to myself, I was like, if I really want to have a true experience out of spirituality and get the answers that these people get, I need to let go of all beliefs. I need to let go of all of that. So I had to give up that Jesus belief to push where I am now, to like push forward into true knowledge and find out about the universe. And I started connecting with the cosmos, with my ancestors and everything. Like, I remember I heard about Moldavite crystal, how powerful it is, and now look at me. I've been having this for like 2 months or 1 month now, and this shit is so intense, it's so beautiful. My body feels amazing every time I put it on. But yeah, my spiritual journey has just been like transformational. Like, when I first became spiritual awakening, it was like, I think August or something. And from August till now, we're in November. I had a growth from August to September. I had a different mindset. September to October, different mindset. Even October until now. October was when I finally shifted into the fifth dimensional consciousness. But I begin to learn even more stuff. As of right now, as we speak, I'm constantly growing every single day. I'm becoming a better person, becoming a more understanding person, loving myself, finding out new things about myself, learning new info to help more people. And now look at us, bro. We're doing amazing. Last year when I started YouTube, I had like 20 subscribers. No lie, like 20 or 30. Now I'm sitting at 900, thanks to my spiritual awakening and me becoming a spiritual yogi in my own essence. So all I want to tell you is that, bro, we are all spiritual beings having a human experience. I am not a human being having a spiritual experience. We are multi-dimensional beings. Whether you are ready to believe that or not, one day you will have your own spiritual awakening and it will totally change your life for the better. Everybody has their spiritual awakening in ready form. Everybody will have the same experience I'm having. I'm just one of the lucky ones to have it at a young age. And I also found out that I was one of those indigo kids, one of those people that was sent back to Earth to help rise the vibration of the planet. I was one of those chosen ones, and I always told myself, always felt like I was the golden child growing up. I always knew I was special. I was always humble, so I didn't go around bragging to people, telling people like I'm the shit. Like, no, this was just some shit that I knew because I always attracted greatness to me, you know? So that's the story of my spiritual journey, how it's going now. And as of right now, as we currently speak, like, life is fucking beautiful. I learned that about my chakras probably like 1 month into my spiritual journey. And I have literally already reached my crown chakra. Like, third eye's open. The ego, don't listen to the ego and people that say like the goal is to reach enlightenment in life, like that's what you chase. Like, you know, we are already enlightened beings. You just have to take off the filters and see past the illusion. Everybody's already enlightened. They just don't know it yet. So just come to an understanding with yourself. Know yourself better. If you have any questions, just know I'm always here to answer them for you. And like I always tell people, I am nothing but a mere reflection of everything that's already inside of you. So don't even strive to be like me, because you're way better than me. Never put anyone on a pedestal. And plus, I'm in there writing a book right now as we speak. I want my book to be finished by February 2021. That way I can start using that book to teach more and more, and we can grow the spiritual community even more and more. The spiritual community is only getting bigger day by day. 2021 is going to be a beautiful year. I'm letting y'all know, y'all stay up and stay blessed and stay aware. We out here. Life is good. Life is beautiful. We have no worries no more. Love y'all. Peace.